When we last saw President Asher, he survived a terrorist attack on the White House, where the White House was taken over by North Korean terrorists intent on killing the president. Thankfully, he had Mike Banning there to help him survive. Well, a couple years later, we pick up in the middle of President Asher's second term in office, and he finds himself having to go to London to attend a state funeral for the British Prime Minister. And as it turns out, that when they get to London, there is a mass terrorist attack on the city, and London is devastated. And President Asher and his head of security, Mike Banning, have to basically survive on the streets of London as terrorists are coming out of the woodwork from left and right to take them down. Basically, the gist of the story is that a illegal arms dealer is seeking revenge for an attack, and he is hell-bent on destroying all the world leaders and making a change in the world. So that's basically the setup for the revenge, and of course he has to get through Mike Banning in order to accomplish his mission. And of course, Mike Banning, as played by Gerard Butler, is, pardon my French, fucking ready for the job. Returning for this film are, of course, Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart as Banning and President Asher, respectively, and a couple other returning dignitaries from Olympus Has Fallen are also present, like Morgan Freeman, Angela Bassett, Robert Forster, just to name a few. London Has Fallen is not as good as Olympus Has Fallen. London Has Fallen is actually more of a traditional, typical 80s type of action movie that we probably would have seen someone like a Chuck Norris or even a Sylvester Stallone in. There really isn't a whole lot there to this movie. It's one action set piece after another. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's still pretty entertaining for what it is, but it just announced to nothing more than a popcorn picture. Just one action set piece after another. And in the end, it's just it's like, all right, that was cool, and you'll probably just forget about it. Whereas something like Olympus Has Fallen was a pretty entertaining and engaging thriller on its own. And I guess the benefit that one had, it had something to play off of, which was White House Down from Roland Emmerich, which turned out to be pretty bad, and was the exact opposite of what Olympus Has Fallen was. So it's almost London Has Fallen has more in common with White House Down, as it's almost like a guilty pleasure kind of action movie. But it's still, for a guilty pleasure action movie, it's still pretty entertaining. And it's got numerous one-liners, crazy situations, insane action scenes. It's almost like a video game at some point where you're just like trying to literally moving through the city streets of London, following Manning as he's trying to get from one point to another. And it's almost like you're like looking over the shoulder of someone who's playing Call of Duty or something like that. Overall, I would say London Has Fallen is it delivers exactly what you expect. Just a no-brainer action movie that delivers some thrills, but pretty much in the end amounts to nothing much. But you had a decent time of an hour and 40 minutes while checking this out. But in the end, like I said, it's not as good as its predecessor. So, London Has Fallen, I would give 3 stars out of 5. If it had a more engaging story that wasn't so stereotypical and cardboard stereotype caricatures of villains, it probably would have been even better. But in the end, it just turned out to be nothing more than a no-brainer action movie, but with a bigger budget. So, as I mentioned, London Has Fallen, 3 stars out of 5. So, if you like this review, hit that like button below. Have you seen Olympus Has Fallen? Were you looking forward to London Has Fallen? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, so you can stay on top of my reviews as they come in. So until next time, we'll see you at the movies.